Gothic Basin Trail, one of the most amazing lakes atop a mountain that Washington has to offer. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and in this video we're going to talk about our hike through the Gothic Basin Trail. This hike was around 9 miles out and back, and I gotta be honest, this was a steep hike at parts that I didn't expect. Now, we stayed in Lake Stevens, so it was about a 45-minute drive in the morning to the trailhead. When we got there early in the morning, not a lot of people were there. It was a brisk morning, kind of cool as we started off the hike. It was me, my wife, my brother, and his wife. It's early in the morning, 7 o'clock or so. Only a few cars at the parking lot, so we should have the place to ourselves for the first good portion of this hike.
We have to sign into the forest.
Signing in, registering here, starting the Gothic Basin Trail. It is 7:20 in the morning and my wife is going, so here we go. The hike actually starts out very beautiful through the forest. As you're walking through the trees, you get to see all the different types of leaves and the trees, and it's just a beautiful hike, especially in the morning time as the sun is just peeking through different areas of the forest. You'll get to cross certain bridges, and you'll even get to see some of the river as it rolls by at a certain point. And you hear the river too as you're walking through. I gotta say, the beginning part of this trail is absolutely beautiful. But then you start the climb, and the climb takes you up a pretty steep amount of switchbacks on your way up to the top. It kind of goes on and on and on, and it's pretty monotonous. There's not a lot of great footage of this part because there wasn't a whole lot to take footage of. We were just trying to get through the switchbacks and the steep incline. But then it opens up, and you come across your first waterfall. And what's really cool about this trail is there's several waterfalls on the trail, and it makes for some amazing views. Now, the first waterfall that we had to traverse, we had to actually go through the waterfall, climb some rock, get up on top and make it through. So your shoes got a little bit of wet, but that was actually part of the fun, right? It was getting a little wet and actually having to do some climbing to get to the other side. Now, I read online that some people get to this part and they turn around because they don't know how to traverse it. So just be aware that if you have water coming off the waterfall, you may get wet and you may have to do a little bit of technical climbing. The trail meanders, and the higher you get, the more the views start to pop out. You get to see the mountain range across the way, and you'll cross more waterfalls. There's several different waterfalls along the way that you'll get to cross. They're not quite as difficult to maneuver as the first waterfall, but each one has their own personality. And there's one in particular that kind of flowed down, had a lot of water flowing down it. And we chose this spot to drop some of my mom's ashes into the water. As I've mentioned before on my previous videos, my mom's wish, one of her wishes before she passed away, was to visit Washington State. So we thought it would be fitting to leave a little bit of her in the waterfall as it trickled down and kind of just spread out through the rest of Washington. Who knows where those ashes end up taking her. As you get higher and higher, you start to come across some snow patches. And we hiked this trail in July, so there was still some snow, but it was definitely starting to melt. So you want to be aware of that. We didn't come across any areas that were too sketchy or too slippery. So we kept hiking. There are some amazing trees up there and some great places for you to stop and just take in the views. Now, finally, as you get to the top of this mountain, or towards the top of this mountain, things start to level out. There's no trees up there, and there's lots of snow. Again, in July, lots of snow and lots of little pools of water. And it almost feels like you're on an alien landscape because you're going through the forest for hours and hours, and then all of a sudden you reach the top and there's just rocks everywhere, mountainous rocks. You can see the top, the peak at one end, another peak at another end. There's snow all around. All the water has ice and snow on it. And even when you get to the top, you still have to keep traversing another probably good half a mile or so. We chose to get in the water. Now, unfortunately, one of my cameras stopped working while I was recording myself and my wife getting in the water, but I got a little bit of footage of my brother and his wife going in. It was so cold. In fact, so cold it felt like it was burning. That's how cold it was. But you had to go in. If you go there, guys, you gotta go in. You gotta do a cold plunge. If it's not too cold, definitely go in the water. And man, how refreshing it was. And really good for the feet too, kind of helped the swelling on the feet. So we really enjoyed this trail. Coming back down was a little bit rough, especially on my toes. 2 days before, we had done the Cascade to Sahel Pass trail, and that was a 10-mile trail. And so 2 days later, we chose to do this one. So we were already a little bit sore, and my toes had taken a beating from going downhill so much. We have a video on that one, so if you want, check it out. It's a great video. I gotta say, that hike it blew me away. But this one in particular was a great one, and I recommend it if you're in the area. I think it's one you gotta do. To say you did it, check it off the list. And again, the top is pretty awesome with that huge lake. We even ran into some people that were camping up there, so there's definitely places for you to hike and camp up there if you want. All right, so that's it, guys. Listen, if there's something I left out, something I didn't do, a piece of footage I didn't get, please comment down below. I would love to hear. I wanna know all the things we missed. Also, if you haven't been on this hike but you want to go, leave a comment down below. Alright guys, listen, we've got tons of more hikes coming, and so if you like this one and you like the content we're putting out, I mean, we're just having fun. We're not trying to blow up anything, we're just having fun. But if you like it, then like it, you know what I mean? Subscribe to it, share this with other people, let everyone know about this channel, because it does take a lot of time to hike and record the videos and then put the information, edit the videos, right, and do all this stuff, put it out there into the world. So I know that we've got a couple hundred people that are probably watching this, but we'd love to have more. Now we do have another video coming soon. We hiked the enchantments. That one's gonna be awesome. So stay tuned for the next video in probably a few days or so.